Iowa State game on my phone, but yeah.
Let me get that water out of there.
Wait, I don't have an emoji.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Smash that like button. Let's make sure our sound is good. I think we've gotten some of the bugs out that we had on the last chat, so y'all let me know.
Are we live on here we are.
We're on YouTube as well right now. Can y'all hear us good? Please chime in real quick so I can get that out the way. I think we What's good, y'all? Sound fine? All right, Texas is up on Purdue, 66-62, 20 seconds left at Purdue, so we're just kind of clearing that up. All right, cool. Victory was secured today, 27-24. I think we predicted here that it was going to be a very close game. I had a field goal game. I had picked 24-21, so we're pretty close on the button there in terms of how I thought this game was going to go.
I thought it was going to be at least in the 30s, but yeah,
it's all good. What's up, y'all? I'm going to wait for y'all to kind of filter in. Purdue just hit a jumper, 10 seconds left. Like to get 2 dubs for UT football and basketball tonight. Yeah. My cousin Andre said I may have overreacted in the first half. I think a lot of fans overreacted. But the great thing about today was character was built, right? The team didn't overreact.
Mm-hmm.
They could have hung their heads after that opening touchdown, after 14-0, and everybody in adversity hits again, and they don't respond, or they say, you know what, we're tired of this shit, and we're struggling, and the same mistakes keep happening. But no, they rallied. Not only did they rally, they came back 17 straight points and take a lead, right? And the defense got better and better and better throughout the game. They adjusted well. I actually wanted you to hit on that because that's something you kept chiming in on while we were watching it.
Yeah, so the difference is always the first couple drives, Todd Orlando comes out with the base defense, just runs the same thing, same types of blitzing packages, just to feel out what the
offense. Then he kind of went with a 0 blitz on that 3rd and 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then so the first time this whole year I saw him make a second adjustment. So he always makes the initial adjustment, but then after the opposite offensive coordinator makes his adjustments to his adjustments, he finally actually made a second adjustment. And I mean, if you look at it, well, we held them pretty low in rushing yards in the second, total yards in the second.
Yeah, I believe they only had 55. They had under 60 yards in the second half.
Yeah, so I mean, we made plays. I think they had most of their passing yardage within the first 2 drives. I think it was something like 175 out of or 155 or something like that out of the 253 that they had. So I mean, after that we kind of shored up both the run and and also the pass as well.
I thought we were good. So in terms of just hitting on the goods real quick before we get to everyone's comments as people are filling in. And guys, make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe, please. I'll keep saying that throughout. And also shout out to our sponsors, Boss's Ranch. Check them out, your local HEB, Cole Produce.
You can fantastic. We had something tonight.
Oh, yeah. You can see we
had something.
We stand behind this, all right? Andrew Jones just hit 2 free throws, so hopefully.
Yeah, good play.
But getting to my point about the run game, we were solid against the run. Like what Kansas State liked to do, and the reason why I thought we would, matchups matter. Thought we would be able to match up physically, especially with the people coming back on the back end and the way our defensive line likes to play.
Mm-hmm.
I felt comfortable with us, and then Gilbert was out on Kansas State, so they go to Trotter, and they're not able to establish any type of quarterback run game with Skylar Thompson. We took all that away. The issue was what we were giving up in the pass game.
Mm-hmm.
In Kansas State, and this goes back to the thing that Todd Orlando and Tom Herman said when they were caught off guard by TCU being so aggressive throwing the ball with Max Duggan. Well, when you're 127th in pass defense, that's what people are going to break tendencies.
Okay, whatever, we're going to test
there. Exactly. Kansas State did the exact same thing, right? Kansas State.
And they should. Every team should, honestly. Yeah. So expect the same thing from Brock Purdy next week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Period. Until proven otherwise. Now, we did a good job adjusting to that and getting them in uncomfortable situations. We actually finished this game winning the time of possession battle. It's a big win for Texas. I think that's indicative of the type of game that happened and how we won. So let's kind of get to some of the comments here as people are trickling in, and make sure you guys are sharing this. I know, and I know I just posted on social media and whatnot. Let me see. Bill said we should have kept feeding Ingram, especially in key situations like the Wildcat formation where Roschon resulted in a penalty. I don't put that penalty on Roche. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Which one?
The penalty we were getting ready to do, it was like 3rd and 3, and Devin Duvernay came in motion, and we had a procedural penalty,
okay.
and it forced us into about like
3rd and 8
or something like that. Yeah, but to Bill's point, Keontae Ingram had a spectacular game today. Those of you who have been on this channel for a while, y'all know where my heart is and how I feel about Keontae Ingram. I defended him at the lowest points, and I always told you guys, like, there's no reason why he should be taken off of the field. Yes, Roschon deserves work, carries. I still, horns up, guys. UT beat Purdue on the road. It's a big win for Shaka Smart. Purdue was ranked 23. Top 25 team. So it's a good win for them on the road.
Like that Tower game.
So, but Hookenwa, that was a big win for UT basketball. They made their free throws down the stretch, and Andrew Jones was a big part of that. But, going back to my point about the guys getting the carries, our running back room is a strong room now.
Yeah.
It's not like it was at the beginning of the season. And then on top of that, you still have your quarterback power stuff with Sam Ehlinger. So there's no reason why our identity really shouldn't be running the football. That's what the offensive line is really good at this point. We saw we'll get into the pass protection issues that they have right now. And Junior Angulau goes down, and we have to slide Kerstetter over, bring in Denzel Okafor. Pass pro is just not a strength of ours. But running the football with a Keontae Ingram, running the football with a Roschon Johnson who hurdled somebody like crazy today. Even, I know we'll get into Jordan Whittington not playing and some of the others, but overall, that should be their strength. And then play action passing, RPO game to Colin Johnson, which was big all day long, right? We got a lot of good stuff in the RPO game to Colin Johnson.
Because we established the run. I mean, we had 214 yards and pretty similar yardage passing. I think it was 250 range or something like that. But I mean, our game, we've always stated that we want to be the most physical team, and if we don't establish the run first, we're not going to be the most physical team.
I want to adjust something here right now. Ben Ivy said, I hated how at the end of the game we played for the field goal. Let Sam go get a touchdown. Herman said it was a good thing that play called back. 100% disagree with you, man. No disrespect.
Yep.
Tom Herman actually almost screwed that up, because what you want to do in that situation in a tied football game is you either want to kick the field goal and walk off, so Kansas State has absolutely no chance. Especially considering the fact they had returned a kickoff or a touchdown earlier in that quarter,
almost untouched.
You want to run the entire clock off, kick essentially an extra point with Cameron Dicker, who's kicked a bunch, and leave.
Mm-hmm.
If Sam Ehlinger had scored that touchdown and they don't have that penalty where they have 5 people in the backfield, now Kansas State has 30 seconds. I'd rather them have no time.
100%.
And we either win.
A win's a win. So.
We either win right there or we go to over. I can't be beat in that situation.
No, I also, someone just to follow up that, someone said, and the coaches didn't panic. I do think he panicked when they tried to actually run that instead of kneel the ball, because that's that situational coaching again. Once they used up their timeouts, and we saw that we had 2 timeouts left, and all we had to do was just run the clock down twice and kick the field goal. I mean, you have everything in the palm of your hands. Exactly. As opposed to anything else.
So that's why what pissed me off with Tom Herman is him saying that Sam Ehlinger talked him into. There's no benefit of Sam Ehlinger scoring a touchdown. That's just for stats at that point. I want to kick a field goal and just walk off with the win. So there's no time left. That's the point. Kansas State cannot beat you in that situation. Sam scores a touchdown there. Like I said, there's potentially 30 seconds left on the clock when the other team did not even need to get the ball back. Period.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? So that's certain. Tom. What bothered me is when he says Sam Ehlinger convinced him to then try to go after the touchdown. All you have to tell Sam is no. I'm running this clock down to 3 seconds. We're going to kick a field goal
and we're going to win the game. That's it.
Period.
Like,
period. We don't
need to pad your stats right here.
So I'm gonna score a touchdown so we can put the defense back on the field and play the special teams game again. No, I'm not playing with that.
Smart. Shut up. Texas basketball. Yep, agree with you.
What's good, guys?
Do you think the defensive scheme was better today in press coverage? I think we just played this
shout out to
team.
Omega for the donation, by the way. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
and we're going to get into the 4D linemen. Look at it. Go ahead.
So no, I just think this is a type of team that we excel against. I mean, look, they're essentially a Georgia offense. Not exactly the same, of course.
Some similarities.
But they want to run. They want to establish the run too. But if you try to run up the gut against us, that's legitimately our strong suit in the defense. Do you agree? And if you guys want to try to run against Keandre, who takes on triple teams all game long, go ahead. I mean, then we can just play gap.
So I want to address something you just said. These are the type of games, these are the type of opponents that play this certain style where Keandre Coburn is going to look really, really good. Where Taquan Graham looked really, really good. Taquan Graham had like 5 or 6 tackles today, right? So Jomo had a fumble recovery. So our bigger bodies. So I want to address the whole 3-down look versus the 4-down look. Guys, we ran the same amount of 4-down look today that we've run the last few weeks. The difference is it was much more effective against this type of opponent, and we handled our gap responsibilities a lot better, especially on outside containment. They did a much better job with it. Go back and watch the tape against Kansas. Go back and watch the tape against TCU. They showed a lot of 4-man fronts. They just did not execute it well. They executed it a lot better today when they went to that look. Even in their 3-man looks, they were fine. It's just how you play football. Taquan Graham today was able to get some penetration and was able to get some stalemates. Malcolm Roach was able to. There were times where Malcolm Roach and Taquan Graham would meet at the running back. So they when we want to play, when a team wants to come against us and play big boy physical football, we have our horses. We can do that. What gets me nervous is when we get in the 3rd and 14s and people want to start trying to throw the ball over our heads. That's what gets me nervous.
We call that out sometimes. Like I feel. Is it sad that I feel way more comfortable with 3rd and 4 than I do with 3rd and 12?
Let me try to catch up. I actually want to address something that Bill said over here about Jamison. So Bill said, did anyone notice before the green ejection that Jamison was playing a little bit of nickel? Bill, that's a very, very good point. And the other thing is Jamison was actually initially recruited as a nickel corner out of Lamar. Yeah. So that may just be a thing where, for whatever reason, he's now getting an opportunity to play the position that he's kind of naturally recruited for. You're going to OU, Iowa State. Good call. So playing the position he's naturally recruited for, as well as the fact that he's a quicker guy with the type of hips. The outside stuff might be a little bit of a struggle for him. Now, the Jalen Green thing was very, very disappointing to see the cheap shot.
Stupid. It was stupid.
Very, very disappointing. And it now affects us next week against Iowa State. Very, very disappointing.
But it was dirty and it was cheap, and it was selfish too, because next week it's going to affect us. It would affect us a lot more if they had someone like the Hakeem Butler like they had last year. But
Brian, thank you for the donation, brother. Really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys coming on and supporting the channel. These little donations will go a long way in helping us improve, our production and whatnot long term. But go ahead, Trent.
No, it's good. Bert got a lot of reps today. Something going on with Eagles. Jay Smith, Jay Wood. Do you want to touch on them now?
I think personally, and guys, one of the things I want to let y'all know right off the bat, because some people text me and ask me if I'm watching, if I'm listening to the radio post-game show or watching the UT. The only thing I will watch before doing any type of reaction, this is just for mental clarity purposes on our end. The only thing I'll watch is Tom Herman talking. That's it. I don't want to listen to anybody else because I want to have my own original thoughts when I talk about this stuff. So if somebody else mentioned it, great, we're on the same wavelength. If not, these are my thoughts, because once I start listening to 4 or 5 different podcasts, then I'm just going to start regurgitating things I heard, because things do kind of shift your opinion. So I want to just take time to acknowledge that we would like to have original thought. With that being said, I believe that this staff is now targeting a red shirt for Jordan Whittington. That's very, very clear to me, right? He's already played 1 game against Louisiana Tech, so that would count. So he only has 3 more that he can play. So I think it's going to be a very similar situation, which you saw with Keondre Coburn and Joseph Osai last season, where Osai played the Iowa State game, but he didn't play. Did he? I don't know if he played against Tech, but I know he didn't play in the Big 12 championship game, but he played in the Sugar Bowl. You see what I'm saying? So like they start picking, and I think what they'll do is they'll probably pick some games where they want Jordan to play. He's probably just dressed today and ready to go in case of injury or an emergency happens, which has happened this year at the linebacker position where we had to play some guys. But overall, I think they're targeting it. I mean, just in terms of there's no other reason why he wouldn't have gotten a couple snaps if that wasn't the goal.
Well, I mean, maybe not this game because it was extremely close, and also Ingram had the hot hand. I mean, we had to ride the hot hand. He had an extra bounce to him today. He breaking tackles, running up the gut.
Ingram was fantastic. All right, dude. And the thing is like, I think what the beauty of this, and this is one thing I wanted to try to drive home before. Roschon and Ingram run 2 completely different ways. Who's that?
Sermon.
Trey Sermon?
Yeah.
I hope he's all right. Looks like an ankle.
Oh, nope. That looks like a knee. That's a knee.
Oh, that's a knee.
That's dirty.
Trey Sermon just had a really bad injury, guys. But Roschon and Keontae Ingram run very, very differently. Ingram has this patient type of demeanor. He's trying to cut back. He's a little bit more creative. Roschon is a one-cut go.
Yeah,
let's get it.
He's a pony.
And so, and I think from a running style perspective, Roschon is going to be a fan favorite just by how hard he runs every single time. And he was very effective when he got his touches today. Keontae Ingram, I think the thing he's starting to realize is how to use that extra muscle that he has to generate power. And when he can dance and when he needs to put his head down and get some yards. I think that's something he was struggling with earlier. Want to give some credit to Stan Drayton with that, because Keontae Ingram is a better running back today than he was earlier this season, right? And he got hot. And then that's what the beauty of the running back position is, when they get touches and you're feeding guys, they get a rhythm for the game. There's those body blows on the defense and the offense. He seemed in rhythm with his offensive line as well. There were times where you would think we had him down, and then he pops through the hole and he falls forward.
So
that's
one thing I want
that sermon.
It looked really bad.
Don't look at it.
Yeah, it looked bad. So one thing I wanted to point out was the fact that this is one of the more physical teams in the Big 12. And he ran with purpose. He ran with pad level. It wasn't just like he was just going wasn't touched at all or anything like that. And our offensive line was winning every single rep. No, he was getting hit, but he was breaking tackles and he was making plays. I mean, he looked great.
I want to ask you about the body language today. Did you, because Tom Herman even came out and said, he made the comment about, trying to dispel or maybe lower what's really going on in the locker room. But I did think from a body language perspective, what did you see out there?
I saw a completely different team. There's even that one play where Keontae wasn't even paying attention, and Sam threw him the ball, running out into the flat. And they both turned around, and instead of them yelling at each other, they both were laughing. They were both like, "Yeah, I messed up. It's my bad. I didn't pay attention." It looked like it just looked like a different team, a closer team, essentially.
We did win time possession 31-28, and we only ran, I believe, 65 plays, which is, 15 below or 15 plays below our average. But we held them to, I believe, only 50-something snaps. And it was when you shut down their run and when you don't have this whole quarterback run. I know we struggled with the pass today, but this was the first time where I felt we were like, all right, we're actually have a game plan to stop the QB run, or at least try to keep them contained, right, and funneled better. And overall, the tackling I thought was at least more sound after the first quarter, right? The tackling in the run game was pretty good all day.
That's one thing they wrapped up there. You didn't see a lot of missed tackles aside from the really bad one, the Adeli missed tackle, which was the open field tackle. But
great point, Benny. They had fun today. They did. You could tell, like, when you start to see people smiling through their helmet, and the guys aren't doing, everybody's got their head down and they're doing, you got people on the team that are clappers and all that type of stuff. The guys are, flying around, having fun, high-fiving. The whole team feeds off of that. I thought they played better complimentary football. Yeah, I know that's my thing. I know Brandon Jones forces the fumble. We didn't capitalize off that. That pissed me off. However, having the Brandon Jones punt return.
The one we sold our soul.
We sold our souls. We wanted a punt return so bad that we had to give up a kick return for a touchdown. But we have the big punt return. The offense actually punches it in and scores, right? Like situations like that where the offense scored at some point in the game and the defense held and got a stop.
Yeah, it wasn't like they drove. They
didn't drive the field. They didn't. The defense comes back on, and you're seeing better in terms of the adjustments, eliminating that cushion. I know it pissed me off to no end when guys are lined up 8 yards off the ball and it's like 3rd and 5, and it's like, let's play football, man. I say that all the time because it's easier to me as a corner. It's easier to try to put your hands on somebody and just play trail technique and pressing up, especially if we're going to be blitzing all over the place. Marry your coverage with your blitz. And I thought Todd Orlando did a much better job today of marrying his coverage. You can't play all this soft coverage, but you're blitzing. He married it a lot better and condensed things. And I think it allowed guys to start playing with a lot more confidence on the back end.
I saw one that I wanted to touch.
Colin was very good today. This was Colin's best game of the season. I don't even need to think about it because there was a throw he caught on the back shoulder that was kind of high, and that was an amazing catch. So Colin was fantastic.
Oh, the one where Sam had to roll out.
I don't know if he had to roll out. It was a blitz.
Yeah,
it was a blitz.
Backside blitz, right?
Yeah. And he
caught it along the sideline.
Kobe Phillips, great point. Chris Nagar punted the ball very, very well today. Yes, he did. I will say, Kirby, we were talking about UT basketball earlier. Real big win for them. Shaka Smart's program, 70-66 over Purdue. Dang.
Iowa State is laying the lumber.
Somebody just knocked off CeeDee Lamb's head on punt return, but he put his head down and knocked off his helmet.
Is he down still?
I don't know. But no, I mean, you've got to be feeling much more encouraged. And one of the reasons why we're paying such close attention to this Iowa State game is they're our next opponent. And they're another type of team that's physical, and we know what we're going to get from them. Yeah, somebody saw that CeeDee Lamb play.
Yeah. Is he down still? I mean, they just keep on showing the replay over and over again.
CeeDee did lower his head.
Yeah.
His helmet came off, too. Why did he lower his head like that? Yeah, I actually referred to Bill's point. So let's talk about the tight end. Obviously, Caden Stearns. I'll get to Caden Stearns. Cade Brewer is out, right? Yeah. And so Reese Laytow as well as Jarrett Wiley were asked to fill in. Jarrett Wiley's, to me, a better blocker. There was a play where Keontae Ingram's trying to cut to the outside. We have our wide receiver ceiling, and Reese just can't get there to make that block. And those are the type of plays those are just the little plays that Cade Brewer did. That was making.
We miss him so much.
We do miss that. But I did see some good stuff and some good push with Jarrett Wiley, former quarterback. So that's a good call out by Bill over on Instagram. Yeah, I think a lot of us need to be watching OU ISU right now. This is very, very important prep work we're doing. We're double tasking together here. We're doing some prep work already for our next opponent. But in terms of going back, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In terms of this game today, I was disappointed with the kickoff return. I don't understand how you just let somebody run up the middle like that. I don't know what our lane
Only one
integrity
person
was.
got a finger on him.
Chris Adam Morris tried to slap the ball from the side. That was the last person I saw near
No
him.
one else touched him. Right up the gut. They could have driven an 18-wheeler through it.
That was terrible. But it was one of the few low lights of the second half. Yes, it made the game a little bit closer, but overall, man, I feel as though this defense really, really balled their asses off in the second half.
James,
whenever you allow some under 60 points or 60 yards, I mean that. Again, Gilbert wasn't playing on Kansas State, and I know they were short their corner as well on defense, and we all got injuries at this point, right? And we've talked ad nauseum as a fan base about our injuries. I thought B.J. Foster, so going to the Caden Stearns point, I thought B.J. Foster actually had a better game than Caden Stearns. Caden Stearns, to me, I didn't see any mistakes or anything like that. What's going on here? What is the...
Well, also BJ's used to game speed as well. I mean, he's been playing all year. I think he's only sat out one game, technically, right? He sat out last week's game. He played in the Kansas game.
He's played in some of these games, right? Oh, my phone's about to die. Hey guys, I need y'all to move over to YouTube. My phone, I don't have my charger here, so we're gonna die. So the 5 of you that are on here, if y'all don't mind moving over to the YouTube, we're going to be going live for another 30, 45 minutes over there. So I'll see ya. All right, so y'all want to talk about Brennan Eagles. The coaching staff seems to be acting weird about him. When Tim Beck was asked about Brennan Eagles at the presser this week, he was like, "Oh, we're all good. He's starting this week." They did have him as a starter on the depth chart. He played early, caught a couple balls, and then all of a sudden you start seeing John Berger all over the place again. And now I did notice they rotated in a lot of Alontae Woodard. I don't think he was targeted, but I saw him play. Malcolm Epps got a little bit more run, so they were mixing in different guys. No Jake Smith today either. I didn't see him. I didn't see Jake Smith out there. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So something, I don't know, we're going to have a conversation with Drew Maringer or something, but somebody find him. But I didn't see Jake Smith. I didn't see a whole lot of Brennan Eagles. I know he was on the field more than you guys think, because there was a certain play in the fourth quarter where it was actually the long pass to Devin Duvernay that was probably Sam's best throw of the game on third down against the blitz that kept that drive going, where we did not have to give the football back to Kansas State. Brennan Eagles was on the field on that play, if I'm not mistaken. So Herman has him in the doghouse, but he's still playing. I mean, even doghouse or not, he's still
playing.
Still getting snaps. It's not like now is he playing as much as he was, say, against LSU? No. Is he getting the targets that he should be getting? Maybe, maybe not. But I still see him out there. Like I would be more concerned if I'm looking at a Jake Smith, who I didn't see at all. Right?
No.
Whatever's going on with Brennan Eagles, I think can be repaired, because the coaches are still playing him. If he was going to transfer, you wouldn't see him out there. Becoming more of a rotational player. I mean,
I'm scrolling up. I saw one of the questions said, "Hey, what three games would you play, Jordan? What are you thinking?"
You go ahead and answer that first.
Mine would be Texas Tech. Depending, say we win against Iowa State and Baylor, I'd play him for Texas Tech, the Big 12 championship, and also the bowl game.
I think he's only going to play one of these next 3, because he can only play 3 games, right? So I agree with you.
Yeah, so I would, and that the only reason why is I want the guys who have gotten me there to the Big 12 championship healthy as possible, so that way you can play him and get him some run, get him things like that. We do have to make sure that we win this game, but
Yeah.
give him a little extra reps just to take a little wear and tear off of him.
I think it's tough, man. I think you also have to monitor how he's practicing, right? And where they feel he's at. If they feel like not only is he practicing well, but they see something on tape versus Iowa State or Baylor that he can potentially take advantage of, that Roshan or Ingram may not be able to exploit, I think you play him that week. So I think those are some other things you factor in. But you want to be able to have him available for a bowl game if you get there without being penalized.
Yeah.
So, and then potentially, they, like I said before, we didn't play those other guys that we had last year in this situation in the Big 12 championship game. We actually saved them for the bowl, so we got to factor that in as well. Renee C, everyone had a good week of practice.
Every week we have that. It doesn't matter.
Sweat, good point, Bill. Sweat was good today. Got a sack. I like that play, by the way, where they blitzed Anthony Cook and the way he attacked the running back.
Oh yeah.
Now
he won that rep.
He won that rep. Now there was a play later
he deserved the sack.
where Anthony Cook blitzed from the boundary, and it was very foolish because it's like, now it wasn't his fault. It was a foolish blitz, in my opinion, because the way the numbers are stacking. Bo was talking about this, like it's 3-on-3 and you're blitzing a guy, now it's 2-on-3. Why are you shifting the numbers the other way? And the quarterback reads that right away. It's like you just took Anthony Cook out of the play. Those are the type of blitzes that piss off Texas fans, right? And those are the type of things where it's like, damn, I know you're going to die with your ship, but like, can you at least notice those little things? But we didn't see it as bad later in the game. All right, what's going on? Early in the season. So then, Cody, to that point, do you think, to your point about the red shirt, then, do you think why didn't he play today is my question to you.
Duvernay for Biletnikoff. There's just so many good wide receivers out there. We were actually talking about him versus Judy.
Yeah, Judy's not going to win it this year. Devin has better stats. Chase could be somebody on LSU. CeeDee Lamb. I don't know how they're going to finish out. There's another guy, I think, on Arizona State that's been balling, that has like a bunch of touchdowns or whatever. The Minnesota wide receiver's been balling, Tyler Johnson. Yeah, I agree. Now they definitely pressed more today. That's what we wanted. My thing is, I want to press under certain circumstances. Now, if we're going to play coverage and have some stuff underneath going on, that's a different situation. But if I know my plan, I'm sending, say, 6, right? And we're doing a stunt with it to where we should get home pretty quick. I want to press. I'm taking away at least that hot or that quick slant or whatever. The one touchdown, that ball went to the flats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we were talking about this when we were watching the Raiders versus the Chargers this week, where they had 3 down linemen, but they filled all the gaps, hiding their blitzing. Just everyone was at the line. They were all standing up.
It was the Raiders Chargers game.
But yeah, they were dropping. They were dropping people into those little soft portions, like you were talking about, with the quick slants and things like that. I would really love to see a lot of that. That definitely disguises your coverages and your blitz in that situation as well.
Guys, again, shout out to our sponsors, Boss's Ranch. We're over 100 folks in here in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Let's try to get this YouTube algorithm, push our stuff out, grow the community. I appreciate everybody that's here listening. Mitchell and Deli played very, very well today. I agree, Michael. They were very aggressive in terms of, especially now, Mitchell, I know he struggled in the zones with the pass, and they ran some deep over stuff on him, but against the run,
he was great.
He was fantastic. And those were much better run fits we saw today. He also looked healthier.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was dealing with the elbow thing. But overall, I thought our linebacker play was much better. Joseph Osai wasn't.
Coach O loves Boston's Rich. I'm sorry.
Coach O. That's funny. Deli was fantastic today. Shout out to Coach O. Big program defining win for LSU down in Tuscaloosa. No, I mean it's how you run your press. It's how you do it, and when you do it, and marrying it to your front end.
Mm-hmm.
Things have to make sense at all three levels. Deli definitely, things are starting to click.
I actually think he's a little bit better than Wheeler because he's
at the same stage right
now.
Yeah.
I think he's still young. What is he, a sophomore?
I think he's a redshirt freshman. I don't think he played last year.
He played some, but he probably didn't play the full
Yeah,
but yeah,
he was a redshirt freshman.
Legit sophomore, but
I did see Cameron Dicker walking into DKR today. A bit controversial. A lot of people, a lot of UT fans, including former UT player Nate Boyer, said that it was, when you're not winning and where the program's at right now, is it, I understand you're trying to be whatever swag or whatever you're trying to do, but like, is that the look? For those that didn't see it, he had his shirt unbuttoned, he had his chest out, tie loose, and Dicker was feeling himself. Now he hit the game-winning field goal. He did miss from 55, which was unfortunate because I blame that one also on the offense for taking a sack on 3rd and 10.
Mm-hmm.
When you're kind of in that gray area spot, can't lose yards there.
No.
Right? So we lose a little bit of yards, which makes our field goal longer. We miss it. But Cameron Dicker came through yet again.
Personally, I just think it's childish, and you should just be
focused.
It's just childish. It's whatever. I'm not annoyed by it, or if he would have missed that field goal at the end of the game, yeah, I would have been annoyed by it because if you're not actually producing, you can't.
I love his confidence.
Oh yeah, he's got
a confident young man, and I like confident kickers because he's
hit 3 game winners.
That's a huge part of that job.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain positions in football, like in kicker is a big mental battle.
That's why we chose him our number 10 breakout and most important player of this season. And he's already won us 2 games.
Right, and then you look at corners, QBs, those type of where there's going to be good and bad, mm-hmm. right? No matter what, right? So, let's see.
Yeah, I love Cook, Anthony Cook.
Here's the thing with Jalen Green.
He had a bad game, by the way. I don't think he didn't have as good a game as Anthony Cook did.
No, Anthony Cook, I agree with that. And there were some run things that we're frustrated with, mm-hmm. and screen things where he would go underneath a block and try to cheat, and then the guy would run outside. So there were some things Now Jalen Green's a very good football player, and he's going to be better and better his time here at Texas. I don't think he's a dirty player whatsoever. This is the first type of behavior I've seen from him, but it was a bad decision.
It did look like he was trying to pull up at the end, but it still was dirty.
He'll learn from it. He'll learn from it. I mean, but I don't think that's a situation where they're going to pull, the player or they should blow him up about it. I think it's just like, dude, grow up, got to be smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it moving, right? We're going to need you second half next week.
Yeah. What was the score when Green got ejected? I think we were up by 3.
I think we were up 3.
Because I think there was a 3rd down play too, which
I don't remember what the score was. Yeah. Penalties are out of control. We struggled a little bit on the O-line too, right? And we had a killer holding penalty, I think in the second quarter. I think it was the second quarter where we had started the drive with like a 20 or 30 yard pass to Devin Duvernay and get called for holding. It's just like those type of things just ruins your drive. It ruins it's such a drive killer that to especially the ones that, like you said, the holding calls, because it's really hard to double your production for down and distance. It's really hard to do that. 30-yard pass play. Okay, Cody. And by the way, Cody, I appreciate you answering my question earlier. 30-yard pass play. Now, the Samuel Cosme play that he had where he got called for holding.
That one wasn't as
got
bad.
that guy around the
Yeah,
neck.
that wasn't as bad. That was the hold on the scramble by Sam, right? Sam was scrambling.
I think it was a design run by Sam,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was when
Yeah.
Sam was running.
Yeah, that Parker Braun late hit was really rough. That was one that we definitely did not like.
Let's talk about Sam today before we get to the offensive line, because we have not even talked about the interception. The interception he threw in the third quarter.
Oh, the one deep down.
That hurt us, man. Do you have to? You want to?
Yeah, we gotta go do dad things.
All right, he's got to go do some dad duty. So I'm gonna talk to you guys. He'll be right back. No worries. Yeah, but I felt like he threw into what was that triple coverage. Now there seemed to be an issue with the route combo there. Devin's running down the seam. I forgot who the outside person was, but I would have preferred to see, especially in that situation with it being third and long, Sam just hold that football there, work underneath. I believe Keontae Ingram was coming back underneath it, kind of as a safety valve. Throwing the ball there. Let's see if you can get the yards. If you can't, we kick a field goal. No biggie. But the red zone turnovers, again, that's something that's concerning. The interceptions and the turnovers we've been faced with the last few weeks. So, we've got to cut that stuff out, especially when we have an opportunity to add points on the board or even take a 2-possession lead. That was a terrible interception. Now, outside of that, he had some other balls that got away from him, but overall, 22-29, it's a pretty good day for your quarterback. He waited way too long, and then he didn't drive the football at all, Bill. He didn't drive the football at all. And the other thing, if you notice, that safety was kind of eyeing him up because he wasn't concerned about what was behind because he knew he also had covers there. Because it was actually the guy that was on the other route, which is why I questioned the route combination because he kind of moved over from the outside route inside and made the play. Penalties ruined a few. It's very frustrating. The height advantage should have been abused in the red zone. Now to the other point, Colin got a touchdown on the flea flicker play, which was a really nice design play. And they targeted number 17 on Kansas State, got him flat-footed, and were able to throw the ball over his head. So there was some good there. I did like the quarterback run game with Sam today. Scott, good point. And I liked when they used it. I thought they did a better job. Now, there was one earlier in the game where we didn't get it. We came up a bit short. And some of the officiating was, we got our little questionable Big 12 moments in there too. But overall, I thought, it was very timely, especially on the last drive. We went to our bread and butter stuff. And anytime you're able to get the ball with 5 or 6 minutes left in a drive and finish with a victory and run the whole clock out, that's a testament to the offensive line. That's a testament to the quarterback, especially the big throw he made to Devin Duvernay. It was a good job. James Cyrus, just everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So James said we finally didn't get our coach. Why don't you talk about coaching today?
Yeah, so it was. I don't want to say it was an easy opponent to coach against because you know what they want to do. They're basically a mirror of us last year. They're front runner. They like to go up and they like to
dominate the Tom.
So
yeah,
so it was kind of like he was playing against himself. So he knows what to do. So the only issue that I had with coaching portion was going for it, trying to get the touchdown with the time off.
At the very end of the
game. At the very end.
Run the clock down,
take
the field goal lead.
Take the field goal. That's the only issue I had. I did like the adjustments that they made. I even liked them throwing in. It wasn't really a trick play, but I liked them throwing in the flea flicker, especially
that counts as a trick play.
I'm just saying because we established the run early, so they had to
and
respect
17 came up.
Yeah.
He read run. eyes in
Boom.
the backfield.
He was wide open. Yeah, so I liked it. I was pleased for us to come out that way through the bye week after the bye week.
And that was the thing that I'm glad you brought up the bye week. That was something that Tom Herman touched on in his press conference, putting pressure on himself when he said, "Good coaches with extra time to prepare, theoretically, your team should look a certain way." And this is the first time we've had a situation as a staff where we've had more time than the opponent to prepare for the game. What does the product look like, right? And so that's why I think that's another reason too why our fan base was on tilt in the first quarter, 14-0, and people, and rightfully so, right? Like they come out, it's like you guys have had 2 weeks to prepare for this game, and you look the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're making the same mistakes. But I also got to give credit to the staff and the players for having that mental toughness.
So you gotta give credit to the players because the players were the ones who actually had the swing moment, which was the fumble caused by, was it Brandon Jones? It was Brandon Jones that caused it.
Yeah, on the tight end.
So
that was
because
Brandon Jones.
They stopped us 2 drives in a row, and they also scored 2 drives in a row. They were actually working. They were driving on that play, and then that fumble really turned around the game, honestly. Because if they
were driving on that play.
Yeah, if they went up 21, I don't know if we come back from that. Mentally, I don't know if we can handle that.
I want to go back to who made this comment here. Michael Fordham. He said Skylar Thompson wasn't all that he was hyped up to be. I think Skylar Thompson, somebody put it, they were like, he's a good game managing type quarterback that can have a lot of success. I think for the first time in a long time, we didn't allow somebody that is a game manager to look like a star.
Mm-hmm.
We made Skylar Thompson look like who he should look like against a team with the speed that we have. And not just giving him those opportunities like we did with a Max Duggan, right? Or even a Carter Stanley. And then you see these guys play the next week after us and they get picked off 3 times and they throw for under 200 yards. We actually cleaned, we made, not that we turned over Skylar Thompson a bunch of times or anything like that, but he didn't run for 4 touchdowns. It wasn't a Optimus Klein situation.
Yeah. Or him even running for 70, 80 yards against us. One thing I want to touch on is like everyone's talking about, God, I'm just happy not to be negative and stuff like that. Think about like 3 years ago, we killed to be in 6-3 position, especially with the competition that we played.
Well, yeah.
2 of our losses were against
the LSU loss is not starting to look so bad.
Team in the nation and the number 9 team in the nation currently.
And they're up 35-14 at half. OU is.
Yeah, and now we're going bowling. We're a 6-win team, and we also lost to a TCU team that possibly has I think statistically they have the best defense in the Big 12, right? And they are well coached. I was very impressed with them watching them today against Baylor as well. I mean, they held Baylor to 9 points. Was it 9 or was it 12?
What did they finish at? Was it 9-9?
Yeah, it was 9-9.
It was 9-9.
9-9.
And then they got all the points in overtime. And these teams are beatable, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Charlie Brewer is a good quarterback, but there's weaknesses.
And not only
Brock Purdy has weaknesses.
So not only are they beatable, we are fortunate enough to play both teams after they play Oklahoma. So they're going. It's really hard for college teams to get up for 2 teams 2 weeks in a row. That's it. So I mean, it's very doable. I mean, we can do this.
Hey, shout out to my man Ben Ivy, putting some respect on the Minnesota Golden Gophers' name, getting a big win over Penn State today. I watched a lot of that game while I was at the gym this morning, and that's another team right there. I believe they're 9-0 now. They were disrespected by this playoff committee by be ranked at 17th as if they were some group of 5 school. I don't know if the committee forgot they were in the Big Ten as well, but excuse me. Congratulations to PJ Fleck and that group up in Minnesota. That was a huge win.
Can't wait to hear Thanks.
Oh, it's coming, Brian. Too.
Yeah, you will hear it. I'll put the over under at, what do you think, 2.5 or 3.5 times?
2.5, easy.
2.5,
Easy. Yeah, they had 2 lost teams ahead of Minnesota. They had, I mean, come on, the teams that have gotten walked this year, and it's like, you know, until you see somebody go down. And granted, I thought Penn State was going to beat the shit out of Minnesota. I'll be honest with you. So but I also were like, yo, 17, like that's crazy. Like Baylor's ranked 12, or whatever. Yeah, Baylor's like ranked 12. Like, that's crazy. Let's see. Sam is not playing badly, Dustin. He's just having some issues with some penalties. I don't think he's playing badly, though. I mean, when you say playing badly, do you have examples on plays where he's allowing pressure or he's missing blocks in the run game? Because I don't particularly see those things. So I disagree with you, Dustin, but if you have some examples, I'd like to hear them.
Yeah. It's always been the rule of at least 6 wins for a bowl. I'm with you. I think it should be a winning record. Technically, 500 is a winning record, but it's good for the kids. I mean, they get pretty nice packages for every bowl that they go to for all the sponsors. You know, it's a good thing for them. The Big 12 finally saw the blatant pack.
you got one today. That's funny. What's also funny is we held somebody on the O-line. I forgot who it was. Somebody held on that play too. But I want to go back to Gerardo Rosales, who said we hadn't played great, but we shouldn't have been out of the top 25. You know what? I'm actually glad they didn't put us in the top 25. I think that's another angle we use. Now, we'll definitely be in this week, but I think just being unranked and then Kansas State going up to 16.
Yeah.
I also think seeing a team like Oklahoma State go up to 23 and you beat them, and these teams are ranked ahead of you, I think that was actually something positive that this Texas team could use. I don't know. I appreciate that insight, Bill. That's good to hear. I know you're my Duncanville go-to, and and shout out to your nephew as well, man. Let's see. How many times do the cameras show Charlie Brewer's dad in the stands? y'all are going in on Charlie.
I'm gonna say over, and I'll put the over under at 1.5. They'll probably show him twice.
Go
I
ahead.
don't think 15.
Oh man, did we pass? He said 5 times. Did we pass?
So someone's gonna count that too, and then tell us nope, it was 7 times.
Who? Let's have a fun little talk right now.
Okay.
Who's all conference Big 12 on this team? Devin Duvernay for sure.
That might be it.
No Samuel Cosby?
Oh, are we talking about first team?
I'm talking first team right now.
No. I think it's just Devin.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
I think Joseph Osai might fall into second team. I think Joseph Osai can still get there.
He has to have a couple big games towards the end.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have to have some big games.
But I think we have a bunch of second teamers on there. I think Kadri will be on the second team.
You can't put Coburn over Neville Gallimore.
No, you can't. No, that's what I said.
No, I was talking about the comment.
Yeah.
Coburn's coming on, but he's not all conference level yet. I just, when somebody else asked me Cameron Dicker.
I still disagree. I think that Song kid from TCU.
Yes. But he doesn't kick long field goals.
They go off of statistics, off of percentage points too. And that's a legit.
Brandon Jones, first team. Hey, shout out to Brandon Jones for returning a punt today and making a play. We're actually, I think, now plus 41 yards.
I'll take it
on the season and punt return.
Turn off punt return out.
So turn it off.
So we can't be the first team to be negative.
Oh man, Brandon Jones. Now he's had his struggles in coverage, and I don't know. I have to go back and watch the film. I don't know if it was his fault on the touchdown that looked like it was like a flag route. But overall tackling, I thought he did a good job. He forced a fumble.
Oh, yeah.
He made plays.
Yeah.
He made some plays today.
Betsy, you should have seen the jubilation that was going on in the room when they returned the punt.
Dude, he hugged.
Yes.
He hugged. Oh my goodness. Sheer jubilation. Will Bijan want to come here, play here, and only get 16 carries? 16 carries is a lot.
It's a lot. I'd be surprised.
In today's college football. How many? So like Najee Harris on Alabama. How many carries do you think he had
in the second half? It was his half. He was dominating. So he was the one who
had 16. I mean, the thing is, what you guys got to factor in is, and this is a broader thing in football right now.
I can look at what I'm talking about.
Thank you. People are not going to be loading up carries, especially at a young age, on a lot of these backs. There's going to be more. Even Dobbins on Ohio State, they try to keep carries down on guys. We have shown, studies have shown, the more carries that people have on the body. Yeah, Najee Harris was balling out today. He had 19 carries. He didn't even carry the ball 20 times. Now, granted, part of that was scoring situation and them down by a lot, but you know, even the way Oklahoma does it with Kennedy Brooks averaging over 8 yards a carry, but they still have
Trace and
you know, so you're spreading it out more, right? You're not going to see the Ricky Williams days of somebody carrying the ball. That's why the whole the guy we were talking about earlier, not on this chat, but D'Onta Foreman, like that came. We lost to Kansas. I think he had like 53 carries or something like that, and then he goes and immediately gets in the league and tears his ruptures his Achilles. Like, you start to see these type of injuries when you load people up like that.
Let me just talk about Jonathan Grant.
Dallas Schwartz, I appreciate you agreeing with me. UGA selling a low workload to their backs. Quality over quantity is a very, very good point.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, look at Jonathan Gray. He was our savior at running back when we recruited him.
At the time we got him,
yeah. But he was so heavily used in the Alito offense.
Do you remember how many carries he had when we did the math on how many carries he took at Alito before he got to Texas? It was almost like 1,500 touches or something before he even got here.
Yeah.
So it was only about a matter of time before he was going to suffer some sort of severe, especially all the carries on your body at once, right? In chunks, every single game, boom, boom, boom. That's why I don't get into the argument about running back one. As long as you're in the rotation. Now, how many snaps you get, depending on game flow and who's riding the hot hand, somebody might get 60% of the snaps this week. But Dallas brought up earlier with how Georgia's selling their running backs. They're getting multiple 5-star running backs in class. Do you think these dudes are coming in thinking they're going to carry the ball 25 times?
They're just going to keep handing it off all day, every day.
We're selling you on, you're going to average a shitload of yards.
And then you're going to make it into the NFL.
And you're going to make it to the NFL.
Yeah,
that's what they're selling.
Yeah. Malcolm Brown was a 5-star. I don't think he had as much usage rate as Gray, though, coming out.
Gundy running Chuba into the ground right now. That's a whole other.
Well, the thing is, Gundy didn't have. I mean, Chuba. In no offense to Alaska, is Canadian, Canada that he played. Canada. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't have the type of
the Alito workload.
Yes, the Alito workload. I think he probably touched the ball 15 times and had 15 touchdowns.
Anthony Cook played pretty much most of the game, so I would say he's a starter at this point. He played almost pretty much every defensive snap in the second half. They did rotate in Jameson, and Jameson ended up playing outside corner as well. But we did finally get our Cook Green combination together, and they look good. Now Green struggled, like I said, with some run stuff, but overall, I thought it was better.
But this was on. I mean,
but against the opponent.
This is legitimately his first real game action. So I think with a little fine tweaking during practice and getting used to the game speed again, I think he'll be back to what he was at.
Anthony Cook's going to be a really great. Well, I think you got. Let me pause because I'm starting to fan out myself.
That's my guy, man. You're right. You're right.
Anthony Cook has everything he needs to be a great player, and I think he is on his way.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. I see the physicality,
the attitude.
I like his attitude. Mm-hmm. I don't care that he gets into beef with coaches sometimes. I want that from my dudes, especially if I want people that want to win. I look at him. I look at the way he blitzed, the way he attacked the running back. I like how he tackles. I like how I never see him 10 yards away from his man. I don't see that with him. And he's got great. And then from a physical perspective, he has what you want. He'll get stronger, but he has everything you're looking for from an ideal corner.
He checks all the boxes. I also do love his instincts too. He doesn't really have the ball skills yet. I mean, of course,
that can also come.
It can come, but the fact that he has a little Chris Boyd in him, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Is that he's always there. He's never. I haven't seen him yet just get toasted.
To Scott's point, I don't mind the screen passes only because you're doing that to get a certain look out of the defense, so you can develop other things downfield. You have to show it. And we block some of. My issue with the screen game is we don't block it well enough. Like Reese Latal we talked about earlier, and I know that I don't think that was a screen, but similar concept where Ingram's running outside and we don't get there on the block, or Colin Johnson got called for holding at one point. But there were times we did see Devin Duvernay break a couple tackles and get upfield and get some nice yardage, extension of the run game. So I'm not saying just throw. I don't think we should just throw out. There's teams that are running screen very, very effectively all over the country that are running those same plays. The same plays out of the same personnel groupings. They just do it better. Yeah. So we have to do a better job of just executing the blocking better.
So I don't know, I lost it, but someone said no cheap shots too about Anthony Cook. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
fantastic.
But didn't he have that kind of dumb play at the end of the Georgia game where he got targeted?
Yeah, he got
targeted. Was it him or
was it Anthony Cook?
It was him, and also who was the defensive back? Devontae,
yeah. So it's not a strength of ours, but it's not something we should shy away from not doing. You still have to do it to get a certain look out of the defense. So BJ had
a pass breakup.
He had half a sack. Mm-hmm. He had 5 or 6 tackles,
and he rushed very well.
Did you notice when BJ hit somebody, they would fall, like they would get knocked back? Mm-hmm. Like there were times where we're already bringing the guy. I like how he rallies to the ball, and it was just flat out excellent job.
You want to go Tigers?
Black goatee, man.
Congrats. You guys dominated that
dominant victory.
We had a plane side by side with
we had the big screens up, so we watched all that game too. Now from LSU Bama, I want to say to you and everybody that watched, because we had a lot of the one thing I love about our Longhorn communities, we have a lot of Longhorn fans that just love college football, and they were also watching all the games. So the LSU Alabama conversation we had, we're going to have another LSU Alabama video this week with Billy and Tyler reacting to the game. I've already been in the group chat with them all day. And let's just say it's going to be a really, really fun LSU Alabama recap video. So congrats to you guys, man. Well deserved. Well deserved. Y'all looking like real contenders. I think you and Ohio State have separated yourselves. Clemson is there talent for talent. Clemson's there, but they haven't shown that consistency. But Ohio State and LSU have now separated themselves into this other tier here.
I would really love to see either LSU versus Ohio State or LSU versus Clemson in one of the games, because we'll most likely see that unless Clemson falls to 4 or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'd love to see those defenses versus this offense. I want to see that.
Ohio State might have the best defense in the country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right?
They really do.
I mean, you can't ever put it past Brent Venables. They have studs on the defensive line. They just seem
And I
to
didn't
keep
watch.
on
I didn't watch.
reloading.
Right. We didn't.
Keep reloading.
We were watching the end of Texas Purdue. By the way, if y'all don't know, Texas basketball won at Purdue, big win tonight, number 23 ranked, 70-66. So we get to light the tower twice. But we were watching that game. I didn't see Clemson, NC State, but I saw they were up at 28-0 in the first quarter. So maybe they got the message about being ranked 5 in the first playoffs. LSU still has to be Aggies Fitz is asking about Chase Young. So Trent has a good Chase Young take because you love Chase Young. That's been one of your favorite players.
I think
talks
when we
about
did
Chase
the
Young
last,
so much.
I think when we did the last live one on Thursday, this was before the news about him being suspended.
Yes, you had him number 2 for a Heisman.
Yeah, teetering on number 1, depending on what Joe Burrow did. But Joe Burrow solidified his number 1 for me after this game. But Chase Young, the NCAA is doing him wrong. I mean, if he came forward, I mean, you brought up the Memphis player to my attention,
James Wiseman.
So, yeah,
with Penny Hardaway, yeah.
They're just doing him wrong, and the fact that they asked him about it and he came forward and said, "Yeah, I borrowed money, I paid it back, but it's for to fly my girlfriend out to the Rose Bowl." You know, that's something that you can track. If someone, if he can prove that he did use that, I don't think there should be any issue with that whatsoever. And to have him have a 4-game suspension when Urban Meyer hid abuse by one of his coaching staffs and lied to about it, and he only gets 3 games. That's bullshit. I mean, it's garbage, and it's just rough to see a guy like that basically lose his season until the playoffs.
He was on a historic run for a defensive end, and think about what Ohio State has had come out of there defensively recently with the Bosa brothers. But this is also
better than both of them.
He might be. And Nick, I mean, you see what he's doing right now for the 49ers, and he's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year and a fantastic player. And he shut it down.
Yeah.
He shut it down, right? And so the NCAA,
he doesn't want to shut it down.
And
he wants to play. He wants to.
Well, he's on because he's in the. I mean, not just because he's in the Ivan conversation, but he is actually a really good kid. He's actually from where I'm from, in Maryland, same area, and he just wants. He's a baller. Wants to win and played a great high school football program in DeMatha, and it's just really, really frustrating to see the NCAA continue to get things wrong like this. In 2019, in a country, you know, we don't live, and everybody made this whole thing about LeBron and China. We don't live in that type of society. We live, I understand there's rules and you don't want to have in this particular organization of schools, and these are amateur athletes. I get all that. But in 2019, we're checking somebody this hard because they want to get their girlfriend to a game. Really?
It's
really
it's wrong. It's wrong.
4 games.
It's ethically and morally wrong in my book.
No, he won't lose any money. This isn't, buddy. This isn't about the NFL. The NFL loves Chase Young. They're good.
Oh yeah.
Just like Nick Bosa didn't lose any money.
Yeah, he's not gonna lose.
Just like Christian McCaffrey didn't lose any money.
He's gonna be a top 3 pick. He's gonna be a top 3 pick.
Leonard Fournette didn't lose money. Like that's a non-issue. My issue is them robbing him of this season.
Yeah. They didn't let him have that decision whether he wanted to shut it down or not. They did it for him, and it's not right, especially when he's putting up such great defensive numbers and he's actually helping his team win. He's changing the game at his position.
And the NFL's not. They'll maybe a couple people might ask him about the combine. It will not affect his draft stock at all, guaranteed. I agree, Fitz. They robbed that brother, man.
Did they announce that game days in Waco next week?
I don't know.
I know they announced it, but I thought they'd probably wait until after the OU game.
D-Train said they did them like they did Dez. I agree, bro. I know Dez lied, but I mean, it's, again, like why they come down so hard on these kids is beyond me, man.
I see the Dez one more closely related to the Memphis player. A little bit.
So to Cody's point, I agree with you on that, by the way, like with the questionable pre-existing relationship and Deion Sanders and Penny Hardaway. I agree with you. Cody brought up what I was telling you earlier, and this is why the James Wiseman situation with Memphis basketball
we were talking
is going to be very, very telling. So football players aren't going to have a chance. They're still going to have a choice. They're going to play college football. It's just a question of whether they get paid for their likeness from a football perspective.
Yeah.
The NCAA is going to screw this up for college basketball. College basketball is what's going to go downhill.
Yeah, it's going to start dying off.
LaMelo Ball, right? And everybody makes fun of him because he's his dad, and I get all that. And then he was a social media, Instagram kid and all that. He's going to be a top 3 pick because he's over here playing with grown men in Australia and getting paid. If I'm James Wiseman, you telling me the NBL and Australia won't go pick him up now? Maybe get him a contract. You look at the brother Darius Baisley that signed with Rich Paul, got a $1 million New Balance internship. Then he worked with a trainer. All they did was just get him ready. Everybody told that brother he wasn't going to be a first round pick because he chose not to go to college. Guess what? He went to the Thunder, like the 21st pick of the draft?
Yeah.
So the NBA didn't
guaranteed money, regardless.
Guaranteed money, right? So college basketball players are going to have the option to say, you know what? I don't even want to deal with the NCAA. I know where I'm going to go, and these guys are going to pay me up front, like good money, like $1 million from New Balance.
Just for 1 year?
Just for 1 year.
Just for 1 year. And then I'm back.
And then we see how it goes. Sign me up.
Yeah.
It's a way better option.
RJ
Hampton, and he's got another top, And RJ Hampton went on ESPN when he declared and said, "I'm going overseas.
I'm going overseas to get paid." But he should have had all hats and then just throw on like one of those Australian like safari hats.
They're not doing themselves any favor. All they're doing is turning these kids off to play. Because if I'm a number 1 player, why am I going to waste my time with you?
Yeah. Why not make some money unless you change the draft rules in the NBA?
Oh man. Hey, we can get back to the Texas stuff, guys. I mean, I appreciate the NCAA questions too.
Dustin Smith asked, because people are responding to Dustin. Dude, we can beat Baylor in my opinion. What's everyone else think? Yeah, we can beat everyone on our schedule. We just got to play our best game. People are following up with, they should have lost to Texas Tech. I mean, yeah, they should have, but they didn't. I mean, they should have lost about 3 weeks in a row, but they're finding ways to win games. One thing that would be concerning if I was a Baylor fan is towards the end of the game, it looked like every little hit on Brewer was hurting him. He was really hurting.
Can you talk about that? I missed the end of that game because I was heading over here with my pups.
So there was a couple plays where he was trying to scramble and he'd get hit, or he'd throw the ball and he'd get hit right as he would throw the ball, but he'd go over to the sideline wincing and kneeling down, things like that, and he just didn't look like he was ready for the physicality, for the physical play. So I mean, that's one thing that I'd be worried about, especially when you're getting into the meat of your actual real schedule, where you're playing a physical team in OU next week, and then hopefully a physical team in Texas the week after.
Drew Adu, man, I appreciate you, brother. Yes, we are all smiles here today, guys. We were trying to, and our friend Brandon, who's salty, Texas A&M, because we always get into the conversation right now, who's better team, Texas or Texas A&M at this point in the season. Very interesting debate. However, he was watching a game with us, and he made the comment about this is a good win for Texas, but you guys didn't pass the eye test or some bullshit or whatever he said. And I'm just like, you know what? You can get the F out. You know why? Because it's like
he's a habitual line stepper.
I know.
Habitual line stepper.
Brandon just loves to poke.
Yeah.
We'll get him back on the next time we have him on the channel will be the 3 of us. So we can, because Tran and Brandon, the channel wasn't ready to have you guys together.
Why?
It would have been too much. Because y'all just would have been screaming at least me and Brandon could I just ignored it. He had you fuming in the first quarter. Oh my God. I haven't seen you. The first quarter, let me tell y'all how upset Trent was in the first quarter of this game, yo. Like, I'm talking about your wife was like, I was talking to Christy on the side. I'm like, I haven't seen this upset. And you were just throwing F-bomb after like you threw a tortilla. Like, it was crazy.
I did throw a tortilla. That's a lie. That's a lie. I did not. I did get very upset when I saw Adeli get just fall on his face on that one tackle for the 70-yard, and then us coming out with that stagnant offense and us having to punt, and then them driving right back down the field and scoring a touchdown. I was pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie. And he kept saying it's just too early. And a little background information on that. He said that to us in at the OU Texas game when we pinned him at the 1-yard line, and we had our third string defensive line in, and we were complaining to him saying the third string D line should not be in right now.
This isn't the move for them.
Yes, this isn't the move. We need to have our best players
on the field
with them pinned back. And he goes, "No, it's too early. It's too early." And then that just was set me off. Okay, so.
Oh man, that was fun. We got to have him back on the channel. I agree, Renee. Eat some Boss's Ranch with these wings. As y'all heard, Tyler Pablo. Tyler is a guy. He's a food connoisseur and whatnot. So anytime he endorses a product like this, and the analogy he used or the example he used with how good this ranch is from a restaurant perspective with those wings is phenomenal. So HEB Cold Produce, go check us out. Phenomenal sponsors. Happy to partner with these guys. Oh, we love Denver, Scott. I want to figure out how we can ship. I know HEB does local here in Austin, but right now it's Central Texas, so we'll see. Let me read some of the comments here that are about the game. Bill said, as far as our defense against Iowa State, we need to continue to let our corners get in the face of receivers and man up. Totally disagree. They said we need to disguise our safeties. Totally disagree. I'm all about playing football, man, at the line of scrimmage. The one team that somewhat, and I will keep using this example, and shout out to the brother Murph Baldwin. He makes YouTube videos under the name Top Billin'. He does a lot of great SEC breakdowns of their offenses and stuff. He's more of a film study channel, but he was the one driving this point as well. The one team that somewhat slowed down LSU was Auburn because they decided to play football like men at the line of scrimmage, pressing up. I don't care about Jamar Chase. I don't care about Jefferson. I don't care about, and we know all of them are nasty, but we're at least going to try.
Mm-hmm.
And they did, and they hung in there as long as they could. Now, did Joe Burrow eventually dice them brothers up? Yes, he's doing it to everybody, as y'all saw today against Trevion Diggs and Surtain. It didn't matter. But even Alabama, like what were they going to do? They had no choice. They had no chance.
They had no chance.
Right. So at least with our guys, we were just talking about how effective Anthony Cook is. You know, when he's able to put his hands on somebody and be an athlete. Mm-hmm. How good Jalen Green is when he's able to put his hands on a guy at the line of scrimmage. When you're playing off coverage, we're not, and the guys aren't NFL technique level yet, right?
Not yet.
Understand
not yet, but they have the skills to be.
That. So
the reason why I don't know why it took us so long, but the reason why it's very effective in this case is no disrespect to the Kansas State players, but the wide receiver talent there is not equivalent to LSU, Oklahoma. Who else have we played that had? Oh, even like TCU has some athletes on for wide receivers that take over some of the Kansas State athletes. So I mean that's one of the reasons why we could be explicitly.
We actually did a better job than we've had in the last couple of years on Dalton Schoen. I also give credit to staff. They're 3-0 now since they've been here. Right,
it's
Kansas State.
When we were just completely dominated for most of my college career. I think 100% of my college career.
Nathan said TCU has one wide receiver.
Truth. And he's not even
He's not balling
great.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still going to be a hell of a player in the NFL, but they haven't been getting him the rock. Let's see, what else we talking about? Oh, Drew said, what do you guys think about Orlando? What do you think he did scheme-wise? Because after K-State, basically in terms of the adjustments, I know we were talking about the adjustments earlier. Honestly, man, I think he did a better job of condensing the pocket with some of those blitzes and some of the stunts and marrying that with tighter man coverage. The other thing we made an adjustment to, and I pointed this out to you, was we were getting burned by the slot guy, right? Because we were playing so far off. There was a play.
That Schoen guy.
Sometimes it was another guy too they were using in the slot. But Brandon Jones was playing like 8 yards off. It's 3rd and 5, and they would just throw the quick action, the quick hitter, right? But we were pressed up on the outside. We started actually walking up, and that goes to Bill's point about Sean Jameson. Some of the other guys were starting to mix in there. We were also playing a very, very soft zone at the beginning of the game that was getting picked apart with over out that Kansas State was prepared for right off the bat. We kind of went away from that a little bit, dressed up our safeties a little bit more, and we just played more football at the line of scrimmage. I think those were very, very nice adjustments we made.
Dijon thoughts. Yeah, we touched on him a little bit on Thursday, but I watched his film. I really do like him as an athlete. One of the stats that they said about the senior night game is that he played defensive back and he wasn't targeted once.
He has some good film on defense.
He does have a really good film. And I know who's the former Texas player that's trending?
Tim Crowder.
Tim
Crowder. Tim Crowder has put his blessing and stamp of approval on this one. So because a lot of people, and we were getting some. I'm in another IG chat with a lot of some of the fellow Texas pages and people that promote and especially around recruiting. We also have some Texas A&M people that run pages that are also in this group chat that I'm in, and some of the A&M people were kind of like trying to throw some shade about, oh man, y'all blowing up. Brian Carrington's tweeting out because he showed the A&M guy. He was like, Brian Carrington's really doing the shush over a 3-star, and it was just like, I love the fact that Michael Rakpo and Tim Crowder came out and they were like, look, this is a classic underlooked or overlooked Central Texas player because we love to overlook Central Texas football players around here, and he's really good. And Texas is recruiting a football player, not a ranking. I love that they said it that way. They were recruiting a good football player that they evaluated, and he has a skill set of that they don't really currently have, that twitchy type of guy. Like did y'all see, I'm going to give you a good example. Hey, Scott, man, I appreciate you. Have a great evening. Hook'em, Victory Saturday. Thank you. Appreciate all your comments. Did y'all see the brother Jalen Waddle, who whoa, my goodness, I wish he would have come to Texas. But did y'all see that punt return he had where the LSU guy tried to take his head off? But you see the twitchiness?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, right? And so am I saying that the Dijon is that? No. But what I'm saying is the skill set and what they're looking to evaluate. Jalen Waddle was cold, man.
I missed out on him and Rondale Moore.
That punt return
could have been.
That was one of the best punt returns I've seen in a minute, man. Just because everything started off so chaotic. Yeah, Rondale Moore, same type of guy. Yeah. And they were trying to get him. They were trying. I mean, they had him. Well, he was committed here for a couple months. He's from Kentucky. He wanted to stay closer to home. I get it, but that was a big miss for us.
We miss on most good Texas guys, to be honest.
In the past we have, but I think we're starting to pick up. I don't fully agree with you there.
Yeah.
Now, the class that, and I think it's the 2017 class, you guys correct me on this if we're all the recruiting nuts. I think that was the Baron Browning, J.K. Dobbins, Jeffrey, where I believe it was 4 of the top 5 players in the state went to Ohio State.
Yeah.
I think that was 20. Y'all can confirm. I think that was the 2017 class, but that was our transition year.
It was.
So I think we're starting to.
Was
Okuda was Ohio State. Okuda's Ohio State. Have you guys heard anything about Keely Ringo recruiting Texas wise? I mean, I think he's still heavy Georgia right now, from what I've heard. But you know,
we can preach playing time.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he wants to play. I know that.
I don't. Does anybody know when he plans on making his decision, or if he's going to go all the way till early signing day? I would love to know.
I don't think he's early signing.
He's gonna.
I think he's going to signing day.
He's going to signing day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for us, because Georgia's such a heavy favorite, the longer it strings out, the better.
It's better for us. Yes. And the good thing about him is that he doesn't have to take official visits. I know he gets free flights or something like that, and that's why he can just.
Oh yeah, his mother works for American Airlines. That's right. Yeah, I did hear about that with Bajan and his camp about the lack of running. Now, hopefully, he was watching the Keontae Ingram game today. And look, the thing is, Bajan becoming one of the most popular high school. He's doing everything this year that everybody thought Zachary Evans was going to do at North Shore. Now, I don't know. I haven't kept up with North Shore. I don't know how they're doing recently, but I know with Bijan, with the type of stats he's been putting up, and you know the people retweeting his runs and all the craziness going on. He was a guy when we signed him. He hadn't even gotten the 5th star yet. Remember, he got like the 5th star a week or two later, at least from 24/7. And then, but the buzz was still like everybody was still like on the Zachary Evans and the other brother that committed to the other running back that committed to Georgia. Like I think it's Kendall Milton.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right.
But now everybody's on because he's had this monster senior year.
It's because he has. I think at one point he had 64 rushes and he had like 38 touchdowns, something like that. It was some weird ratio. But yeah, I mean he just looks better than everyone in high school. But will that translate to the college level?
Hey, we signed a guy from Arizona last year that was super dominant, and he's had an up and down freshman year in Jake Smith, who, to answer somebody else's question, he didn't play today. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we'll get a story. I don't know.
He was averaging 22 yards a carry. Jeez.
We do need the brother here. I agree, man. Like, this is ridiculous. Did the O-line get better to you guys after Aguilar went out? No. I thought the run game was still fine because Kerstetter and Okafor can do that, and they've worked together before.
One thing I did notice is that their defense was definitely targeting that left-hand side. They were actually right-hand side. Sorry. So they were definitely targeting that end, and that was the play that you were talking about where they strung it out and it looked like Denzel Okafor held. Yeah, it was the pass interference.
There was a couple times. And that's always been kind of his weakness. Some guys can get around him, but they kind of outside of him when he gets overextended. But he was fine. It's just that continuity, like Junior. To I think it was Bill that made the point earlier. Junior's been mauling in the run game. Like he's been in tremendous shape. Now I do like where we're at long term with this offensive line. We've been recruiting very well. We have more guys coming in, and they have, they're really going to be able to compete, even with us losing Javon Shepard. Like we have, who was that? Kennedy Brooks just stepped off for what?
50 yards or something like that.
It's 41-21, Oklahoma, pinning the extra point. Sam Cosmi, he's had some penalties, but I still think he's playing well, personally, from what I see. I think the penalties is just loud, right? When you look at it, and they've got to get some of that stuff cleaned up. I think Herb Hand will sit down with him in film study, look at his hand placement, look where, especially when he's going upstairs. I get it, right? Especially like we were talking about the Sam Ellinger play. It's tough, but I don't think
get him on the shoulder, but he actually is.
He's got a release on it. He's, you got to. Those are really easy things to clean up.
The good thing about it is this may keep him here another year.
Ooh, hold on. Bargel said,
Well, why would it be intentional? What would be the intention?
maybe, I don't know. I don't think that's
not really-
that's too. I think I understand where you're going with it in terms of like letting Sam think he wants to go score a touchdown, but Tom Herman, I guess, doesn't have the balls to tell him straight up no. So he like sabotages the play so that he can still run the clock out. I don't think that's the case. I see where you're going. However, Sam's also a very smart player, and if it was typically quarterbacks can recognize, hey, you need to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Run that clock out.
Well, they could have run the clock out regardless without the penalty.
Yeah. Dustin, what were you talking about with what you said earlier? I'm sorry. The chat be flying sometimes. I miss some stuff.
Said something on that earlier. You missed it, Steven. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just let me know what was said, so I can either agree or disagree with you. Guys, we're at 1:30. We've gone a little longer than I thought we were going to go. So let's try to wrap up here in the next 5 minutes. We'll go to 1:35 and blaze out of here. Good point, Bill, about Ty Jordan. I thought, he's another recruit we have coming in. He's actually gone viral with his mother's situation and her health. A lot of people praying for him, so prayers up for him and their financial situation too, with her medical treatment. So that's a guy that a lot of people have been taking care of and looking out for. But he's, from a skill set perspective on the field, he's another type of guy that we don't currently have. That's a smaller, scat back type of guy, right? We have a lot of big people at their positions.
How about Eaton, Josh Eaton?
I think he's going to end up at Oklahoma.
He's going to be at Oklahoma. Yeah.
I think so.
Thoughts on Demas taking his shot?
Oh, did y'all see that? Damon Demas is taking his I think tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's at OU, which would be big.
Oh, that would be really
big
exciting to see
potentially.
see him.
He has
3
not
years
played this year.
Yeah,
They ruled him ineligible. He is the number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
That would be very, very interesting. I mean, considering the receivers that OU brought in last year, Theo Weiss and Hazelwood, I mean, they're trying to get Damon, so that's crazy. Okay, cool, no problem. Dustin. What happened to the kids from Missouri that played with Washington? I think you're talking about the slot guy, right? That was committed. What's his name? Somebody give me his name. The slot kid from Missouri.
He committed to
Mookie
State.
Cooper.
Yeah, Mookie.
Was it Mookie Cooper?
Yeah, Mookie.
Yeah. Mookie. Okay, yeah. He's still being recruited, right? He's not. Is he committed to anybody?
Yeah, he committed to Ohio.
Oh, he committed to Ohio State.
Yeah. So he's
damn.
gone.
So they got him and Smith and Debo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's gone. He's gone.
They got him. Oh my goodness. Illinois. Why do you keep saying Illinois? Illinois. Yeah, I thought he. What was going on? Some people say Illinois. Some people saying Ohio State. I saw the other guy. Smith and Gibu also committed to Ohio State. Man, the party just keeps on going.
Yes, I do agree that not having elite linebackers are contributing to.
Yeah, the type of defense we run. I mean, 2017 was our best crew, our best crowd, right? We had Malik and Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Defense was fine. Like, do y'all remember? This is also why I was not on the Todd Orlando train, because I'm about firing somebody if there's no hope. I've never seen good, right? Mm-hmm. Now, granted, Vance Bedford, you can make the argument there was some good there his first year too with Quandre and Jordan Hicks and those guys. Get it as well. But with Tagovailoa, that game plan, I'll never forget the game plan he had against Oklahoma State. And I know we lost the game in overtime, but they were the number one offense coming
And we
in
held them 10
to
points.
10 points
10 points, yeah.
in regulation. James Washington out there, Justice Hill, Mason Rudolph, they were humming. I was at that game. And the game plans he's had some legendary, yes, he's had some really, really bad nights and a lot this year with personnel. But even during this game, even the Georgia game, right? The things he did against Georgia. And yeah, some of the teams that play a certain style, he's just better at it against it. And we need to see him more consistent against spread passing offenses. I agree with that. We need to see him more consistent with that. But I'm not on this whole, I had people texting me during the game, first quarter, get rid of the guy and all that. And it's just like, I'm glad that the kids don't think that way. And we can now us as fans, we're fickle. We're going to go all over the place. But very, very interesting.
Transform.
We're going to go another minute here. Any other last second questions? The linebacker, the Gabriel Floyd guys. That was a tough one. That was a guy that they loved and we loved, right?
He's on campus right now. I mean, They say
I doubt he plays football though.
Yeah,
I think it's too risky.
One other guy was that Georgia linebacker dealt with the same thing that came back. There was one other linebacker that he's in touch with right now that went through the same thing and came back and played, and I think he just got drafted. Spinal stenosis.
Dustin said we hype for another hour. Well, I have some responsibilities to adhere to and get home, and I need to eat. And Trent, I'm sure he wants to spend some time this evening with his wife before the kids wake back up. So that guy, the guy that transferred to Georgia, live chat on the drive home. I appreciate the guys. Everybody's doing good, man. We got a dub. This is our fan base. I love it, man.
It's a boss's ranch. You keep talking.
Oh man, that's funny. So you don't think Orlando gets fired? Which coaching shakeups to you project? I don't know if I'll put it this way, because everybody's on 1-year contracts. Some of the assistant coaches.
Yeah.
They probably go in another direction with Drew Maringer. I think you have to at this point for relationship purposes. And you got to find a person that connects, right? Whether it's a Samples or whoever, get somebody in here, or you promote Andre Coleman, whatever the hell you do, they got to do something about that. I think, what's his name? Corby Meekins. I think that's somebody where, they struggle with finding a place for him. I know he's a former head coach and he's more of a recruiting guy, but that's also another area where you can kind of look into maybe adding another defensive staff person.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last person is Jason Washington.
Yeah.
Just might be time.
Dwayne
It just might be time to get another voice in there.
Yeah.
But I'm not with, but do we need to overall, because it's also relationships. You also want to get somebody in there that can coach what you want to run.
Yeah.
Right. And teach it. And you want somebody that's going to prove. That's why I was also never on this fire stand drinking train. And you're seeing in his group, in his room, these last 2 seasons, because we saw with Trey Watson and Keontae last year, and this year with Keontae and Roschon, they're getting better and better throughout the season.
All you have to do is look at what he did. So everyone was injured. You had one scholarship running back. What did he do? He turned a backup quarterback into a running back. Yes, this kid is just a straight up athlete, but I haven't seen him fumble. Have you?
Mm-hmm. No. And the closest he got was Louisiana Tech. If he has fumbled, correct me, but I don't think he has.
Yeah, I'm a big Akina fan too, Awol. I'm a big Akina fan.
Is that true, Cliff?
What? Today is the first day of the football team.
Yeah, Jason Washington's I think the head recruiting coordinator or whatever. Whatever director, or it's either him or Brian Carrington, but
how much is Jimmy Fallon coming to UT?
That was fun. That was fun to see Jimmy Fallon here, especially for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Helps grow the brand. It shows you the power of the University of Texas and how far-reaching it is. It truly, truly is. What starts here changes the world.
Yeah.
I think that's why so
So
many
late night
people.
hosts come here and host shows.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely why so many people who aren't in Austin, like even on this chat, like you think about all the people that chime in on our videos on a regular basis who aren't even in Central Texas or Texas period, right? That love Texas football. I was hearing on the Rodcast earlier this week about watch parties in New York, or maybe it was kind of done in Chanhassen. I can't remember, but like just all over the place, people chiming in from all over.
I know I flew with my friend D'Lo.
Yeah, D'Lo coming over here from New York. Shout out to D'Lo, man. Like,
he texted me right away.
Strong,
Once we won.
So fantastic stuff. Fantastic.
I do listen to Longhorn Blitz.
Shout out to Jeff Howe.
Yes, I'm pretty sure Carrington's still the head of recruiting. He's really good at building those relationships with not only the kids but the family as well. Do you think we lose recruiting?
I think it's a good time to wrap. So we appreciate you guys very, very much. Just a sign of things to come this week. We are going to do some Iowa State prep. We'll rewatch this game. These are obviously our fresh emotions. We will rewatch the Kansas State tape. Maybe do another segment there, just things we've noticed. But then we're on to Iowa State, right? Trying to go there and get a victory, and getting our prep going there. I will be making, like I said before, the LSU Alabama video with Billy and Tyler. Follow up with them, and that's going to be a very, very interesting conversation.
Can I ask a favor? Can you definitely bring up the limp at the end?
The Tua limp?
Yes, the Tua limp.
Did y'all see the Tua limp?
Oh my God, that was.
And look, I'm not. Let me clarify.
I understand he had a knee surgery and everything, but he looked great on the field, and then all of a sudden, once the game is over, he's limping like he's
oh my God, like
reverse. Reverse.
Like I thought he was gonna get
Usual
help.
Suspects. He was reverse Usual Suspects. Instead of walking. Yeah. Come on now.
Look. I'm telling you, Alabama did a lot of subtle things because they knew they were getting their ass whooped. Right? They did a lot of subtle things today to try to show the play exactly.
Yes,
to try to try to levy those excuses in there, right? And I'm glad Nick Saban at halftime, because somebody that came at me on Twitter said Nick Saban said this loss is not on Tua, it's everybody else screwing up. I'm glad he said that because it wasn't all on Tua, right? Like the punter dropped the punt, the guy missed the extra point. Defensively, they couldn't stop a nosebleed, right? Like across the board, they had issues at all three levels. I saw Jerry Jeudy drop a touchdown pass. Like, I think he dropped 2 touchdown passes today. Jerry Jeudy, like some of their best players. So I don't want to hear, and y'all haven't, I'm talking to Alabama right now, y'all haven't played nobody, right? So you can get to this point, no disrespect to Texas A&M, I mean, in terms of the top tier people, right? They haven't played anybody, right? And so I'm curious to get Tyler's thoughts on them. They got the late touchdown to make it close, but I'm glad Brady Quinn said it on their show on Fox. If you watch the game, the Alabama, it was not as close
as the score
indicated. Period. All right. If you watch the game, and the other thing is Tua. They did something else too. They started having Mac Jones warm up. I think I noticed that they had Mac Jones warm up in the third quarter when they were down 20, just to give that, to continue to reinforce the perception.
No, he's not healthy. He's really good.
We don't know if he can play another down or series. Oh, we got to get our backup warmed up.
I hope they don't fall for this garbage.
Don't fall for it, playoff committee.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Alabama needs to take their loss like a man. All right. I don't want to hear no excuses. Tua was out there balling. He threw for 407 yards. Okay, it wasn't because of him.
Oh, apparently he posted on Instagram saying he played on one leg. Come on.
I'm telling you, man. This committee better not fall for it.
Side note, apparently we've gone international. Someone from the Dominican Republic, Miguel, is watching us.
Hey, shout out to Miguel. Appreciate it, man. Hook 'em. Told you, it's a global brand, guys. No, I'm gonna get we're gonna have a more in-depth conversation. I hope y'all can watch the Texas LSU or the LSU Alabama. I mean, look, in my opinion, we played out LSU, if not just as well, if not better than Alabama did today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so defensively, you look at they couldn't the brother Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I was about to say to LSU's credit, they did not run the ball well against us, and they ran the ball fantastic. They were great on the ground against Alabama, and I think that has a huge the loss of Dylan Moses is a huge loss to their whole defense at the beginning of the season.
LSU has gotten better. That's
LSU
because when they played us, they weren't throwing the ball to Edwards-Helaire yet.
No,
they weren't using him.
No, they weren't using him out of the
and
backfield.
That was something. That's why I bring people on this channel who actually know their teams, because Billy and Tyler gave both. For those of you who are really into this, Billy said, "Hey, we throw the ball to our running back now. He had 8 catches last game. Look out for him. He had like 80 yards receiving today. Edwards-Helaire, on top of over 100 yards rushing." Tyler told y'all Jalen Waddle is gonna make a big play in the punt return game. Obviously, he has one. So these guys are off into their teams just like we are. Helaire had the LT spin move. That shit was nuts.
Helaire, man, he ran with purpose. There, even that last
touchdown, yeah.
Not even the touchdown, where they're trying to milk out the clock after they kicked it outside, where he ran
the whole pile
right up the gut. He ran with purpose.
You
were like, go test this guy right
now. Helaire should have been drug tested after that. Are you kidding me? Man. We're probably gonna film either tomorrow. Tomorrow night's gonna be tough because the Cowboys are playing. I know Fitz asked me about the boys. Real tough game against Minnesota.
You gotta give him a 48-hour rule. Alabama. Yeah. You gotta give him.
Tyler.
You gotta give him 48
I think
hours.
I'm going to his house tomorrow
to film.
To what? Because we do NFL Sundays at his house.
No, that's fine, but you got to give him 48 hours just because that's a rough loss, especially when you're so used to making the playoffs. That's a rough loss. Like I feel for him because we've been there all too often. So I feel.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Comforting other fans, but he doesn't need much comforting. Okay.
Yeah, he's got
however many national champions like this. You know. There's still the committee is going to do everything in their power to try to. That's why I don't want these other teams to screw up, man. You know what I mean? Because if everybody starts dropping, right, that all to Urban Meyer's point, and I hate to bring up Urban Meyer, but he did say Alabama just needs to keep their head down and worry about winning their games because people around them can muck it up, and the committee is going to look for any little excuse to get a rematch out of that, because that game, now that you have SC, and that's the other point about why we've always defended the Big 12, right, guys? Because style of offense matters a lot in terms of the product and how the product looks. For years, we've heard the Big 12 doesn't play defense. What was going on in the SEC today? And you have all these elite corners out here, right? Diggs, Stingley, Bolton, Vincent.
Yeah.
Safeties too. Grant Delpit's out there, right? All these guys. Corey Stevens. Who else am I missing? Surtain on Alabama. Everybody's getting toasted because they're throwing the ball, the pace, everything. We've been saying this about the Big 12 for years, but now we see people that have moved to this style of offense in the SEC, and we're seeing the same type of yards and the same type of scores.
The thing that bothers me is that the announcers, they're like, man, this game is fun, huh? all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, because their offense was stuck in the 1980s a couple years ago, and it was, 9-6 games and stuff like that? When it was a flip-flop. This was TCU versus Baylor. They played defense that whole game.
They did.
Yeah.
It was a 9-9 game. You're right. So, Oh, Devonta Smith he's the real deal, man. He already had a game this year where he had 5 touchdowns, 274 yards. He had that last touchdown at the end of the game. That was impressive. I mean, if you look at the yards that both wide receiving groups put up today, it was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't want to hear. That's why I'm like, you guys are just. It's a mentality too, right? When you start to shift.
CeeDee Lamb just fumbled.
CeeDee Lamb fumbled.
Yeah. 2-possession game, 42, and they got the ball.
Okay. Yeah, I see you trying to make a move. All right, guys. I know we stayed a little bit longer. Y'all keep asking good stuff, man. Monday night, very good football game, by the way. 49ers and Seahawks.
Ooh,
that is a good Monday night football game.
Yeah, that NFC that division
Shout out to Kyle
so
Shanahan.
good.
They showed him today in his Longhorn uniform.
That division is the best division in the NFL.
I can't stay till the end of the game, man. I gotta go get my pups. ABC is showing Clemson. What channel is OU playing on?
They're playing on Fox.
Yeah, Fox. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb fumbled. NFC West is a crazy division. I mean, look what even Cliff is in the NFL moving the rock. So shoot, man, I appreciate y'all. I will let you know. I'll send out some stuff on social media. Make sure you hit the links when I post this video. You hit the links in the description box. Hit the like button, subscribe, follow, share our content. We got so much cool stuff going on. We will be also having Texas basketball content coming out soon. You know, after a few games, and but I'm really impressed with them.
Up and then
I know. Well, so far so good. Like that was a big win today, and they looked different. They looked so much more mature.
Yep.
Than they have.
We were talking about their play. So it looks like they have one play that they like to run, but what they do is they have different variations of that play. So they like to have the point guard take the ball up and they take the 4, set a pick, then come back with a back pick where he can either drive, where he
has
a quadruple threat, not just a triple threat.
Yeah.
So he could drop it off, he could shoot it. He could pass it to each of his wing players that pop up.
And the wing shooting was better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gerald Liddell made some threes. Jace Fevers made some threes. Andrew Jones hit one. So overall, like they just seem to be a more mature group. So I'm gonna have some Texas basketball stuff coming out soon. I recently met up with a former Texas basketball player who might be coming on the channel. Want to talk about the games. So that's also some stuff to look out for coming up that we got working on in the background. Holding on who?
It's got on
Iowa State.
The way he had the corner like that. So it has to be.
Mature guards win games in March. We're starting to see that. I know Corny Ramey didn't play very well today, but Matt Coleman was fantastic. If Matt Coleman can play like that, and they have good guard play from all those guys. Mm-hmm. Texas is going to win a lot about that. And this team actually resembles more of the traditional Shaka Smart teams I'm used to what he had at VCU than what we've been trying to do before. Like we're just kind of a little bit smaller, more athletic. He'll rotate in his bigs. And the bigs aren't
bigs though.
Yeah, but they're not even. But he really just has Jericho. He had Jericho playing there, and then everybody else could just switch everything. So really, I'm happy.
No, it wasn't a hole.
All right, guys. I'm out. Appreciate everybody. I think I got all my announcements and updates out as well. But we appreciate every single person that comes in. It's always cool to celebrate with y'all.
Yeah,
post UT victory.
Always. Now our main focus is on Iowa State. Hopefully they get really exhausted in this game right now, and we walk in there and dominate. So OU, tire them out.
Horns always up, guys.
Horns up, guys.
Thank you.
Get some bosses.